Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be dissertating and talking about the South Node sextile or trine the moon in a natal horoscope. Well, as most of you know, the South Node is connected with what we emphasize or perhaps even over-accentuate in the first half of our lives, and it could indicate overdeveloped qualities. We look at this as something that may have gotten us through till maybe about age 30 or so. But what happens is we hit a point in time around that time in our lives, around age 30, where we see this is becoming somewhat monotonous or redundant, and we go generally toward the North Node placement. While not necessarily eradicating the South Node completely, merely integrated at least somewhat with the North Node. And we know the moon is associated with the mother, the unconscious, subconscious. For men, it could be women in their lives. I would imagine more of the women that figure more prominently in his life. And we also look at the moon as our emotional needs. And anyway, people, let me get started. The first thing, you look at the sextile or trine aspect between the South Node and the moon. Obviously it's auspicious, and it's favorable for perhaps we could say maybe some work that I guess the rapport with the women in the person's life, the compatibility with one's mother, and the person, people that have these aspects could indicate that the mother was strongly figured prominently in what this person emphasized, maybe very strongly, generally in the first half of the person's life, and those characteristics and qualities that are associated with it. Since in these aspects you'd also have the North Node with sextile or trine the moon as well, so this could show it's very positive in terms of, I guess we could say, the emotional needs working well with that person's mission or that soul's purpose. And we look at these aspects as well. And let's take an example. If somebody were to have, I guess you could say, the North Node, say they have the North Node in the third house, sextile or trine the moon, the South Node in the third house and sextile or trine the moon, it could indicate that the mother was supportive in as far as this person's maybe nature toward going into maybe communications of some kind, or the people maybe he or she did have strong communications with, and possibly even their brothers and sisters as well. And we look at this, and also as another example, the 12th house. If somebody were to have the moon sextile or trine the South Node in the 12th house, it could indicate that the mother may have been very supportive of this person in terms of their work, what they were doing, as far as in private, or as far as maybe helping them work on perhaps their weaknesses or limitations, or as something connected with spirituality. This could be, we look at these aspects, and obviously if you have any kind of sextiles and trines, of course, are beneficial and auspicious, but of course, as I've stated before, that the danger is complacency. And the thing about when people have these aspects, sometimes there is a tendency to become relaxed, and this person may seem to think that some things may come naturally to him or her. Now, talents and ability, if there's talents and abilities that may be connected with these aspects, might be natural, but at the same time one must actually take action and make things happen by doing, rather than just thinking that things are just going to come to him or her naturally. So anyway, we look at this, and we look at the sextile or trine, and we know that this can indicate that the moon could also be the women that figure prominently in a man's life, or the women in their life. So in a man's chart, this could show that the women in general in this person's life can be supportive and can perhaps they might be beneficial to this person to some degree, as far as what they emphasize more or strongly in the first part of this person's life. And then, of course, as we know, it goes to after about 30 years old approximately, this aspect, really what happens is, even though the aspect remains the same, the South Node sextile or trine the moon, the person will more emphasize that aspect with the North Node in the second part of one's life. And if someone has the South Node sextile or trine their moon, they're going to have the North Node sextile or trine. They'll have the North Node sextile or trine their moon, and which is positive as well, because those are good aspects. So it's kind of, I look at this as like a win-win in the whole life completely. But as I stated before, you still have to make sure that you're working on whatever it is that's connected with the North Node and Moon, and South Node and Moon, because if you're just being idle or decide to be stagnant or become lackadaisical, obviously things aren't just going to happen just by sitting around. So anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment for the South Node sextile or trine the moon in a natal horoscope. Stay tuned next time, where I'll be talking about the South Node and major adverse aspect to the moon in a natal chart. Two things I want to get with you on before I head out. Firstly, the stars may impel but do not compel. And secondly, never isolate any single astrological element, aspect, planetary placement, position, configuration, influence, or what have you, and make an analysis of a person, astrologically speaking, based on this alone, because a person astrologically is the sum of all their components in their natal chart, and not just one. Until next time, people, stay well.